Shit, I wasn't finna pay for this shit, so they saying I can't go to Twitter. Here we go. Welcome back to another episode of the Stricken Podcast. I'm here with my partner, man, T Worlds, man. Tony, man, how you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. It feels good to be here, man. How you doing, B?
I'm doing good, bro. Doing good. I can't complain, man.
In the city, man.
What you said?
What's good in the city? You know, I've been gone for a little minute.
Hey, man, ain't nothing, man. Still the same Tallahassee.
Okay.
Rattler still holding it down, man, for the city. Them nose ain't doing nothing.
That's a whole nother topic we're gonna have to get into. But I saw somebody. There's a team out there that may play the hardest 5-game stretch in the history of college football this year.
Hey, we got it.
It's a good chance they go 0-5. And guess who's in that 5? Guess who the fifth? Guess who that's gonna deliver that 5th L?
Nah, that's gonna be a dub, man. You going to that game? You gonna try to go to that one?
I actually went to the game last year in Gainesville.
Gainesville?
It was crazy. Man, I don't know. I heard Florida State, the capacity and the ticket situation this year is going to be different because of the renovations they're doing. So
yeah, they still not done.
Yeah, I probably won't make it to that one. I may try to find a game they have if they have an overlap with FAMU and just try to hit both. But
yeah,
well, actually, homecoming they have that's probably the only one. So never mind. I'm not doing that.
I got you. But man, tonight, I got my partner Tony Worlds, man. Tony, introduce yourself, brother.
Yeah, man. Tony Worlds. Some people call me T Worlds. Born and raised in Tallahassee, Lincoln High School, man. Never lost to a team in the city my whole time at Lincoln. Went to FAMU, got my master's in business, and graduated and been up in Atlanta for almost 10 years now. So, I bleed orange and green. I'm a second-generation Rattler. Big supporter of the football team, also a big supporter of the team across the tracks, and big Bucks fan as well. So I'm a Florida guy, through and through. But I bleed orange and green, and I'm really ready for football season this year. It's gonna be it's a transition year for us after Willie Simmons making his move up to Duke. So it's gonna be interesting to see what we put out there this year.
I got you, Tony. When did you become stricken with the venom, bro?
Man, like I said, my parents both went to FAMU, so I've always been like I don't remember. I've only missed one homecoming ever that I can remember. So I grew up around that stuff. I didn't appreciate it growing up, like most kids don't. But as I got older, it's funny because actually when I was at school, I didn't really follow the football team that closely. Like I was more so into other stuff, partying and school, of course, but that's also a time when FAMU was going through a lot. We didn't have a band. We had the Robert Champion.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of bad stuff going on with our athletic department. And I'm basically telling the story because I didn't really have as much pride in fandom as I do now when I was in school. So I would say really probably 4 or 5 years ago, when we started really dominating and then we moved to the SWAC, I said, you know what, I'm gonna start paying closer attention to, because with sports, I'm either all in or I'm not even gonna watch a game type thing. That's how I am with basketball. But with FAMU, I'm like, you know what, I want to be a bigger supporter of my school. I don't get to appreciate it as much because I'm not there anymore. So I'll say 4 or 5 years ago is when that really kind of hit me. I want to be one of the old heads that pull up in the RV one day and go to every home game, even though I don't even live in Tallahassee. I want to be that guy eventually, but yeah, it's gonna get there. I'm not there yet, but I do support the team. I like what's going on. I see so much potential in FAMU, so I'm really ready to see what we're gonna do this year, though.
Yeah, me too, bro. Me too. And today we're talking about the positions that can and lead the way for us to get there to this next championship this year, man. We're gonna start off with the quarterbacks, man. Tony, dog. They saying it's only two. It's a two-man game, a runoff right now, man.
A two-man race, man. And it's always kind of been that way. Even back to Willie Simmons' days, he always liked to he would never like to kind of name a starter unless it was some guy who was coming back who was just a given that this guy's obviously gonna be the starter again. But yeah, the it's an interesting situation because we got Daniel Richardson who just came in. I believe he played at Central Michigan and FAU as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is his 5th year, and he's put a lot of tape out there. He's an experienced guy. He's seen some success, kind of in that Group of 5 level, and he has that game experience. You can't pay for that. That's the biggest thing I think above skills, above IQ, knowledge of the game. It's like you have to get out there and like actually play to know how to get better and how to lead your team, especially as a quarterback. So we have him, and then we have the guy that's been at FAMU for 4 years, I believe, and has kind of been waiting in the wings ever since he was a freshman, in Junior Meritovich. So it's an interesting dynamic because, with the transfer portal being the way it is now, you got a guy who's experienced and a guy who you think can get the job done, who has tape out there and who's been successful, and you have a guy that doesn't have tape but has been in your system for a minute. And although it's a new offense being put in place now that Willie Simmons is gone, he still is familiar with FAMU and his play, his offensive lineman, whereas Richardson is kind of having to get acclimated to that. So if I had to guess, I would say that I think Richardson is going to be the starter just because it's hard to sit a guy that's, I think, a graduate or a 5th-year senior.
Yeah.
It's hard to bench him with the amount of tape that he's put out. One of his receivers from FAU is also at FAMU with him as well. So it's just hard to do that. Like, as a coach, you rather put him out there. If he doesn't perform, then he kind of on a short leash. Junior, get out there. It's your time to shine. So I think Richardson ends up being your guy on day one. And I think Junior would be a good sport about it too. So yeah, I think that. And then the other guys that are backing them up, I think that those are guys that we'll be talking about probably next year.
Yeah, I think Junior, he got to see how Ryan Smith played it and waited a little bit. You remember he waited in the cup for a little bit. And then you had Musa come in last year. But Daniel Richardson, man, a 64% passer, dog. That's pretty dang good, man.
Exactly.
That's decent, dog.
Yeah, and he's mobile. He's a Miami guy, so if he plays with that Miami swag, that's kind of what Florida football is really all about. So,
I was talking to he posted a clip last week, and I asked him, I was like, bro, you played in Bragg already? He was on the team with Miami Northwestern, played Rickards for the Willie Farrell, for the Willie Farrell Classic. He was a starting quarterback his senior year.
Oh wow.
So so he's played in Bragg. So I was like, bro, that ain't nothing but God, bro. That's come full circle.
Exactly.
You back in Bragg. So
so that's what I think is gonna be the guy day one. And I think he brings a little bit, like I said, just more experience. Junior also has, I think, some mobility, but this Daniel guy, I think, he can get out of the pocket if he needs to, and maybe even still push the ball down the field while he's escaping the pocket. So I think that's huge. He's just a little bit more dynamic. But this is a good problem to have when you don't know, who out of two talented guys who you want to put out there. And maybe who knows, Coach Cozy and offensive coordinator, they probably know who the guy's going to be, but they're strategic and not name it going to be yet. So a lot of this is pretty common. We've seen this in a lot of different situations. I think Michigan is the same way. They got two guys that they're not even sure. They want to make us think we don't know who the quarterback is. So, but the coaches probably do know.
Hendon Hooker brother on the team too.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
We got him. Trey Fisher still down there.
Yeah.
I think I saw a guy that transferred from UM who was a walk-on down there. So
yeah, he's still there. Yeah,
we should be in good shape. I would love to see them take one of these local kids from Tallahassee at quarterback. But
I like Sims at Lincoln, man. They playing tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Some of this hometown talent.
And build it up.
But yeah, I think quarterback is going to be an interesting position for FAMU this year. I'm going to go ahead and say that I wasn't the biggest fan of Jeremy Musa anyway, if I'm being honest with you. So I'm looking for a change, and yeah, I just want to see a different style quarterback, man.
What made you kind of think twice about Musa sometimes?
Um, So, and I'm not trying. Like Jeremy Musa played great. He led us to the championship, won us the championship last year. I think he won SWAC Player of the Year last year. So the guy is talented. I just wanted to see. I felt like Willie Simmons had an offense that all the quarterback has to do is put the ball where it needs to be, and the receivers are going to do all the work. You got guys like Marcus Riley, Jamarie Shareed, Jamari Gassett, David Manigo. I mean, we had like receivers left and right, and sometimes we would struggle to get them the football. And that's not all Jeremy's fault. Sometimes it could have been on the play calling, but I just felt like Musa he was a kind of a statue in the pocket. So tough kid, but just didn't bring really any mobility, and I didn't think he had a strong arm. So that limits the amount of passes that he was going to be able to like complete. And that just gives the defense more time to react to the football too. So I wasn't the biggest fan of Jeremy Musa, but that's just me. No knock on him if he's watching this right now. Like you're a great quarterback. I just prefer quarterbacks that are a little bit more mobile and that can improvise. You know what I'm saying? Like if the play breaks down, like you got to try to make something out of nothing and live to see another day. Throw the football away. You know what I mean? Like little stuff like that. Throw the ball away. Don't take the sack. Throw the ball away. Like, we don't want to lose 10 yards on second down. We can try again on third down. So
yeah, I feel like Coach Simmons trusts him. I went to a couple of the media little things he would do for the show.
mm-hmm.
And so when he recorded the show, so I sat in on like one or two of them, and I kind of can see the trust that he had between Musa, and that sometimes that trust can get you further than your abilities can. Sometimes
I definitely agree with you on that. I think his that was the ultimate reason why it was like Willie Simmons came out and said there is no quarterback competition. Musa's because I think he knew, and Willie Simmons has a pretty complicated offense, especially for an FCS level to an HBCU and FCS level team. Not to limit us, but he does have a pretty complex offensive system that he puts in place. And so I just thought that, like you said, he trusted Musa with that, and you can't really coach trust in your system, to be honest. So yeah, that goes a long way. It's like the punt returner. At the end of the day, I need you to catch the ball. I don't need you to score a touchdown every time. As long as you catch the ball and fair catch it when you need to, you're gonna be back there every time.
Yeah. True right there, man. Moving on to wide receiver, you talk about trust. Jamari Gassett, I watched the 220 Club. You watch that every Wednesday?
I need to go back and watch it this week, but I typically do watch that. I need to watch that especially because I think this would have been the first time Colsey was on there. So
he's on there every week.
Okay, every week. Okay, yeah, I usually start watching it once the season starts. To be honest.
Yeah. Make sure y'all support the 220 Club too. Donate your $20 to them, man. It's a good fund that's going for the FAMU athletics. But I was watching the 220 Club and Coach. This was last week's episode. The wide receiver coach, Coach AC. He was talking and he was saying Jamari Gassett. He was like the one thing last year. Jamari Gassett, number 2 out of Tampa from Buffalo. Last year he couldn't really trust him. He knew his talent was there, but he couldn't trust him. He said he played around too much. But this year he's all about business, and so he's gonna be the leading wide receiver this year.
Yeah, I think when you look at these receivers, I mean Jamari has got to kind of take that number one receiver role. He's a little bit undersized, but like you said, he was there last year with Coach AC, and a lot of these guys are new. So he really has to step up. I mean, I'm looking at our. It's like everybody is new except for like two people.
Yeah.
So he has to take that. He has to take that lead role. Like, I mean, bro, you gotta kind of look at Xavier Smith, guys like Jamari Cherie, Marcus Riley, you're the next guy that's supposed to fit into those shoes. So, and he's talented. That dude is
Yeah.
like shifty, very fast. Might be the fastest guy on the team. So yeah, I think Coach AC can get that trust built. He should have a big year for sure. Hopefully Richardson can get the ball to him.
Yeah, I think if I'm talking like receiver, like leading receivers for the year, I like the tight end with a quarterback that's in a new system. They like to use their tight ends for outlet. So I like Jeremiah Pruitt, number 0 from out of Atlanta. I like him to really show out.
I like him. I think him and Kobe Gross, the transfer from Florida State, both
Yeah,
big years. Kobe Gross is like a guy that doesn't really like jump off the charts for you, but he's reliable. You can trust him. Like that's half the battle right there. So I agree with you. I think Jeremiah Pruitt is kind of like a hybrid receiver / tight end, but this is his 3rd year at FAMU, and I feel like he's been kind of waiting for his big break last year. Kamari Young, out of guy from Gabi, who was another guy that was just like super reliable. But I'm hoping this year they get the tight ends more involved, and they kind of use Jeremiah as like a hybrid receiver / tight end. Because I mean, like even the red zone, you got a guy that's 6'5", 230. Like, bro, throw the ball up. He need to come down with that. And then I'm seeing we got this guy that's Jaden Evans, a transfer from Central Michigan, 6'7", 250. Like, bro, throw the ball up, man. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
we're gonna have to have it. I see a lot of 2 tight end sets. I don't see us going out with 4 wide, 3 wide like we did a lot.
Yeah, not all the time. Yeah,
if that 3rd guy is going to be Jeremiah, and then maybe we have another tight end with his hand in the dirt. But tight end is a good position for us because it has a lot of experience, a lot of guys that have been at FAMU for a while, but then some new guys too that seem like they might be looking for a fresh start. So they're gonna kind of come with that type of energy.
Yeah, I wrote down them late because I thought about it, but Quan Lee and Marquez Bell, I think they're gonna be some good some good players for us this year.
Yeah, like you said, back to the receivers. Well, let me say this. So I was disappointed and a little bit hurt when one of the guys that was really going to be that guy that I thought was going to be that guy going to next year transferred, and that was Kareem Burke. Jacksonville, and he transferred to Arkansas Pine Bluff. No knock on Pine Bluff, but I was like, what the hell? I thought he would have transferred up to like a D1 because he had real offers coming out of high school. But yeah, I think Quan Lee is a guy that I know some guys from Gainesville that say this guy is really like that. So I see him kind of being in that Xavier Smith shifty. We're gonna have a lot of like shifty, smaller receivers this year. So Quan Lee, Jamari, of course, Acion Cobb from FAU to transfer. I'm thinking he might do some stuff. He's a bigger guy, 6'3". Goldie Lawrence is a transfer from Florida State, so I know he has some talent. And then Jalen Rogers from Tulane, transfer, Miami Northwestern product. I think he's another guy that's just like probably going to be untouchable coming off the line. So as long as our quarterbacks can get our guys the ball, I think we'll be fine. One guy though that I want to, and I don't know, maybe you have heard something about Ja'Cory Jordan, the guy that used to be a quarterback. He moved over to receiver, but I don't know if he's actually around or not.
I believe he's still there. I know in the spring game he played pretty good in the spring game.
Yeah, in the spring game he looked like it was like, dang, like this dude is unguardable.
Yeah. But I believe he's still there. Matter of fact, I looked at his IG page today just to make sure. But I believe he's still there.
He's still there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that'll be a good a good guy for us to have too, just to add a little bit more size
out there. Yeah.
The receivers are we've been spoiled with guys like Xavier Smith, and then having guys like Jamari Cherie, Marcus Riley, of course, from last year. We've been kind of spoiled having guys that are just, throw the ball up type dudes. So we'll see. This is just a whole new, everything is going to be new. The new offense, we got a whole lot of turnover at receiver. New head coach. new offensive coordinator. So we'll see. We'll see. But I don't think we're going to be out there with a lot of 4 wide sets because I just don't think we have the guys that have enough experience yet. They're probably still trying to get familiar with the playbook, frankly, to be doing stuff like that. Just at least early in the season.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy going against a defensive minded coach in next week versus Norfolk State. It's gonna be good to see how that part of the offense runs next week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we I mean Norfolk State has always had like a decent defense. I can't really speak for the offense, but yeah, it's gonna be a good test. And then you're not, you're in the big stage. You're in Atlanta. You're not at home. So a lot of guys haven't played in environments like that. So we got to make sure we focused and ready to go because Norfolk State gonna play with a chip on their shoulder. They already knowing that they kind of coming into our territory. It's Atlanta. This is like FAMU North. But I feel like they have something to prove. Even though they're in the MEAC, they do have something to prove playing FAMU. We haven't played them in a while just because we're not in the conference anymore. Well, Norfolk State was always a team that
Stuck
it can go
with
either
us.
way.
Yeah, but moving on to the running backs. Of course, number one out of Chipley, man, Kelvin Dean.
Kelvin Dean, man, Rikers High School graduate, the clear leader at the position. I think really one of the leaders and the captains.
Team, yeah.
You're gonna see him run out there, for the coin toss. So expecting a big year out of him, kind of a redemption year. Last year the backfield we had so many guys: Terrell Jennings, Jaquez Yant. Backfield was kind of crowded, but I think Kelvin Dean left a great lasting impression on everybody's minds going into the offseason with his Celebration Bowl performance, 2 touchdowns, a late touchdown to kind of bring us back into the game. I was sitting right there kind of near the end zone. Crazy when he scored. So yeah, and
you about to drop the drink. Well, I know you jumped up, dog.
I probably didn't drop multiple. Everybody drink around me probably just threw it. But Kelvin is a guy that I think can catch the ball out of the backfield. I mean, he scored 2 touchdowns over both catches. So catch the ball out of the backfield. What I want to see him do though is, one thing I've been saying about the running back group, and we'll get into these guys, get into more of the guys in the position, but we don't really have that speed back. Like we don't really have that guy that's just like Bishop Bonnet that can just get out of there and get 4 or 5 yards just off pure speed. So I'm looking for Kelvin to be kind of that guy that does show speed and quickness and agility coming out of the backfield because we have bigger backs. But I think Kelvin is going to have to be that guy to, one, be the running back, one, be the leader on the offense, leader of the team, but go out there and be versatile and not be show that he can be an all-around back.
Yeah, I like Levante Somerset as well to be the backup. That's like I put in a note, so I don't think Jaquez Yant with the team right now. I haven't seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen him with the team. So I'm not sure what's going on with Yant. I don't think he's gonna be there this year. But yeah, I think they call him Bo Somerset.
Yeah,
he's a bigger, a bigger back, but I think he's still kind of shifty and has some speed. So, and he's a guy that I always like the guys that we recruited out of high school. He's a guy that came to FAMU straight out of high school. So, and he'll be there for a couple more years. So I definitely want to see him get some touches. I'm really excited to see the guy from Miami, Thad Franklin. He's a guy that played at Chaminade down in Miami.
Yeah.
UM and then transferred after that, but now he's at FAMU. I think we're gonna see some like a different style of running back. Like he's a speed guy. He's kind of tall, but he's also big as well. So I think we're gonna miss Yant, his skill set, but we also have guys like him that can kind of fit that same profile of back and wear the defense down. So I think those 3 guys are going to be probably your top 3 that we see. We'll see how much they kind of rotate through them, but yeah, I think those 3. And like I'm with you, I'm ready to see Levante Somerset, see what he can do.
You think we have 1,000-yard rusher this year?
Ooh, we would have to be running the ball a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say no, just because I think we're gonna rotate back so much. I think all 3 of those guys are gonna get. we may see each one of those guys start in different points of the season. So I don't think granted, I'm saying I know Willie Simmons' offense is gone. If it was his offense, I would say definitely not. We used to be begging him to run the football. For this year, I don't know if you're going to see 1,000-yard back, but if you do, I think it will be Dean. That would be huge. But I'm fine. I'm cool if we don't have 1,000-yard back, but we have 3 guys. 2 guys that go for 700 or something, and then another guy that goes for 5. Like I like to see kind of that spread on the on the duties and the different, because that shows you that you have a dynamic offense. And if we are able to rotate like that, it's kind of hard to game plan for that. Who's going to be the starter this week? So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think we have 1,000-yard guy. That's tough, man. That's tough to do in college. It's even tough to do. I mean, we've seen great running backs in college football that play the whole season and don't reach 1,000 yards. So
that's true, man. The only one that I could see doing it is Kelvin, but I think, like you said, the rotation is going to be so deep, and I really like Somerset to at least get 2 or 3 starts out of him, bro.
Exactly, bro. He
gonna watching that spring game, I was like, this back right here.
Yeah, this dude. Yeah, he looks like a linebacker, but he's running the football. So, and people don't want to, bro. Like me as a former DB, you don't want to have to tackle guys like that the whole game, bro. So, hey, I hope we run the football more this year, because like what we just talked about, the receivers kind of being a little bit as a question mark, I would say, and especially with the quarterback, you can always hand the ball off. And I know you already talked about the O-line, but that's the strength of our team, in my opinion. I think our O-line, with so many guys coming back and so many guys that played last year that were younger, that are like, it's their time to kind of get in there now. I mean, we brought back almost everybody on the offensive line. We had a good offensive line last year, so that's going to be the strength of our team. So that's why I think the run game should take a step up.
I did forget KJ McCool last week when I did the offensive line. I forgot to mention him I saw him over the summer. He's dropped, I think, like 20, 30 pounds. So
it's been working, bro.
Yeah, they've been putting it.
Although there's been some turnover, like we still coming back to win the Celebration Bowl again. Like, they saw how that felt. And guys like KJ, who transferred to FAMU, I feel like had a big part in going to the Celebration Bowl last year. They want that again, bro. That was a good experience for our guys to go through. It's a good experience. It was a good experience for the Howard guys, even though they didn't come out with a win. Like just being able to participate in the bowl game, especially when when what we do in December, all we do is watch bowl games.
Yeah.
January, so you don't want to have to send your guys home and they didn't get to experience that. Like they want to get a piece of that too. So,
and to be real, that was a great game, bro. That was a top 10 bowl game last year.
Top 10 out of all.
Yeah, out of all everything.
Like it had to be. That game was so crazy, bro. I was really shocked to see Howard come out. I was like, damn, Howard actually got a real stick, and I think they're gonna be good again this year. So it might be a rematch.
Yeah,
but yeah, I agree. I thought it was a great game, and then offensive line. Man, I'm mad. I'm mad I wasn't on that episode, because we would have had that position group right there. I think there's some guys on the line that should get some looks.
NFL, yeah, they're gonna get some. I definitely think TJ Lee is going. He's going.
I'm a fan of TJ. TJ is his style. He's the big guy with the back flap. He a skill player. That's swag right there. So shout out to TJ.
TJ Lee, Jalen Goss transferred Florida State. I know the NFL waiting for him to get there, though. That's a big dude.
Yeah, Jalen Goss is like a freak of nature type dude.
Yeah, and you got I think his last name Givens, but he's one of the top offensive linemen too. But you got a good line, I think, man. It's gonna be a good line.
And yeah, so that should help the run game. Getting the tight ends, them guys ain't afraid to get in the trenches with those old linemen and block. They can also catch the ball and get busy after they yards after catch. So it's gonna be an interesting offense, but I think we'll be successful just because I feel like guys have a lot to prove. It's a lot of guys that are like, it's my time now. I've been waiting. Um, guys like Kelvin Dean, Jamari Gassett, Jeremiah Pruitt, all those guys have been around, so they know what good looks like, and so they want to be that next version of that, and they want to show the younger guys that, hey, this is how it's done. Like Jamari Quan Lee, you next, bro. Like tighten up because next year you're gonna be expected to be the number one guy. So make sure you got your stuff together off the field, and then when you get on the field, it's just like another day at the office.
Yeah, and then moving on to linebacker. From what I'm hearing, man, Jerome Nichols, the transfer out of Michigan. From what I'm hearing, he's gonna be one of the leaders in that linebacker spot, man.
No, I don't know much about that guy, but I do know that when I saw we were getting a linebacker from Michigan who just won the national championship, I said, bet, like, okay, yeah, let's what number he want, like what does he need to be happy down here? So Jerome Nichols, I think, is going to be a guy, like you said, the guy from Brian Norris, transfer from USF, I think, is a graduate. So, he's like, it's my last year. I need to go out with a bang. But we also have some guys that have been there. Again, Eric Horn, the guy who's been there this is his third year, transfer from Iowa State. Like, he's been sitting behind, he was, obviously we had Isaiah Major last year and Johnny Chaney. I think him and Johnny Chaney were kind of fighting for that second linebacker spot last year, and Johnny won. So Eric is like, look, this is my last year. Like, I got to go crazy. And I've seen flashes from that guy. Like, I think he's a little undersized. He's probably like around 220, 215, but he plays behind his pads. So I think he's going to be this year's version of Isaiah Major. Nayron Jenkins is a guy that I don't think a lot of people. I think his first name is Nayron Jenkins.
Yes, it is.
Okay, that's a guy, man. I've seen him get it out the mud in terms of playing on special teams and not being afraid to, get dirty and not necessarily be out there playing linebacker all the time. I think he's undersized, but I think he's a guy that we'll see make some noise. And then lastly,
he got one of the biggest hits last year off a kickoff.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Kickoff.
He's a special teams like guru. He needs to be the third captain. He's the captain of special teams. Like that guy. I know we love our our kickers and punters. Nayron Jenkins is a guy that you need him on all four special teams. But I was gonna say Jaron Fox is a guy that transferred to us from Mississippi Valley State. I think he's been their leading tackler for the past 2 seasons. So he obviously knows how to get to the football, make the tackle, and he's played against SWAT competition, before. So we got some exciting guys, man. But again, we need to be conscious of guys that we recruited out of high school, like Malcolm Major. Like he's been around for a while. Like I want to see what he can do. Khalil Hunter is a guy that I know that it looks like they maybe have moved him to linebacker because I noticed D-line rushing off the end last year. He's kind of like in that mode of like a why am I blanking on my guy's name? Isaiah. What's his last name?
Isaiah Land or Major?
Isaiah Land. My bad. I don't know why I wanted to say Isaiah Bond. That's the other guy. He's kind of in that mode, so he's undersized. But I think maybe moving him to traditional linebacker and just maybe blitzing him off the edge, maybe better. So he's a guy from St. Thomas Aquinas High School. Like, come on, this guy can, he can play. We got guys from the top, programs, Chaminade and St. Thomas playing linebacker for us. So I know they know something. At least at a high school level they did. So yeah, linebacker would be an interesting position. One thing I will say though is it's tough because if we run the same defense as last year, we got 2 guys, and when we just named like 3 or 4 guys that are graduate transfers that are 5th-year seniors. So I'm not coming to FAMU as a graduate transfer to sit on the bench. So you would have to play me. So it's gonna be interesting to just see. So we got Brian Norris, Eric Horn, Jerome Nichols, Jaron Fox, all those guys are graduate. Like all these guys have already graduated from college. So this is their last go. There's only 2 linebacker spots, and that's 4 guys that all can play. So it'd be interesting to see how they do that. And linebacker is a position that you don't typically rotate a lot. It's not like D line. You know, especially if you got the guy that got the green dot on his helmet, he's not leaving the field.
Yeah.
So, it'll be interesting to see what linebacker shakes out to be. I don't know. Maybe we run a 4-3 this year. I don't know yet. I don't know. Do you know any? Do you know what scheme we're running on defense?
I want to say. I want to say.
We know Norfolk State might be. Nobody might be listening, but at the same time, we can.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like a multiple, but I think they may try to run just 4-3 to run with it. They got the talent really to do whatever they want to do. They can go out there with multiple type of defenses out there. You can run a 4-3. You can put in 5-2 if you need to. You can run shoot if you got to get down with it. A 3-6.
Yeah.
If you got to get down with it.
Yeah.
And they got the edge rushes to get there if they have to go three linemen.
Exactly.
In the nose. So.
Yeah, man. So I think those guys are going to be. We're going to see a lot of. I do think the guy, the anchor linebacker, I think is going to be Eric Horn. Though he's just a guy that I've seen already play at FAMU, and he is playing with a chip on his shoulder this year. So, I think Jerome Nichols and Jared Fox kind of fight for that second spot, and then we'll see other guys file in, as the season progresses. But yeah, man, it's a lot of question marks to see who after that first kickoff, who depending on who gets the ball first, who's going to be running out there for FAMU with the first team. I think it's a lot more uncertainty than it was last year for sure.
Yeah, it definitely is, man. The anticipation is high, dog. Because that kind of, those of y'all that are listening, I appreciate y'all the past couple weeks sticking with me. That kind of wraps up all the position players, but the positions, but that the anticipation is high, bro. To see these dudes out there, man. We trying to see what type of team we got, dog.
Yeah, we want to win, dog. Like we want to win, we want to dominate the SWAC. We want to get another Celebration Bowl. We've only lost 2 games in the SWAC. Still, This is gonna be our 4th season in the SWAC. We've only lost 2 games. Like, I'm gonna say this, man. I'm gonna throw it out there. If FAMU dominates the SWAC again this year, assuming we can get our stuff together on the administrative side, we need to be thinking about what it's going to take to get up to the FCS, bro. Straight up.
With them saying how the social media team is like ranked high in all of college football, like as far as people watching us, like that right there ought to show people want to see FAMU.
Bro, we got one of the best social media marketing.
Josh Padilla, man, that dude is
we gotta make sure Josh. We gotta take care of Josh, man. I'm gonna say it right now. FAMU, we have to take care of Josh, bro. We cannot afford to lose Josh. Like Josh is like the Willie Simmons of like marketing FAMU athletics. That dude is talented, bro. Like we cannot afford to like let these kind of people move on and we have to make sure that it can't be none of our doing, basically.
Yeah.
Sure that we take care of people, and then they could be. I don't know. I don't work for FAMU or anything, but Josh is a talented guy, bro. And I think, like you said, we gotta recognize him for being one of the top ranked people in the country. Because think about the resources that Oregon and Texas and Ohio State, even Florida State have. We don't necessarily have the same resources as them. So, but Josh, you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know it. So
he may do it what they give him, dog.
He does.
He may do it what they give him.
Shout out to Josh.
Speaking of the administration and everything, I know the big talk right this week has been the state of FAMU, man. What do you think the problems are? We saw the AD getting let go. Well, she was one of the people that got let go. There was a whole group of senior administration, but not all of senior administration. The interim president didn't make that known. It wasn't everybody, just certain members of the leadership got let go, man. How do you think? What do you think the problems are at FAMU?
Man, it's tough to it's a tough topic to really like get into, just because you hate to see FAMU um, in negative news. Like, FAMU is such a family atmosphere that, like, when adversity strikes and it's like public business, it's like kind of like your family's being exposed a little bit when you want to kind of keep it in a internal circle. So I don't know, man. I think I do think that we get unfairly publicized. I think people are waiting for FAMU to mess up. Like,
Mm-hmm.
some of the same things happen at some of these other schools, and they don't get the same negative publicity that we do. It's like people are waiting for FAMU to mess up, and I think that's just a testament to how great we are. Like, people don't always want to hear about greatness 24/7. They want adversity to strike somebody so that they can be brought back down to earth and humbled or whatever. But I'm not really sure what the problems are. I do know that it's pretty common that when you get a new president in office, he or she is gonna want to bring in their own people. So it's not uncommon to see resignations and people being let go and things like that. But I'm hoping that the interim can get things on the right path. We've been talking about football today, but one thing that I hope to see in the next administration and president is to really like appreciate and realize the value that FAMU athletics really has kind of sitting underneath the surface. Like we're just we have not even scratched the potential that we can potentially reach when it comes to FAMU athletics and what we can be. We have to realize, like, we have so much room for growth, and room for growth that probably doesn't even involve like money, just like internal things that we can work on to really elevate FAMU to be the brand that we know it can be from an athletic standpoint. And athletics is kind of always like the front door to your school. So we can use athletics to fuel the rest of the university. I mean, like, that's exactly what the University of Alabama does. They pull in all their resources through the state and through the success of their football program. University of Texas, University of Florida, Florida State. Like, you got to use your football program and your athletics programs, your premier athletics programs, as recruiting tools for investors, for students, for top-notch faculty, administration when you need them. So FAMU we have to realize like the power that we really do withhold, and kind of make sure that we don't get in our own way, because I think FAMU could be the great, like, not just HBCU. We could be like one of the top programs, and kids want to come play for a school that is about the culture and is about us. Like, we saw that with Dion going to Colorado and Jackson State. So I don't know, man. I think they just got to figure it out, and they will. But it's unfortunate that we kind of have to see some turnover. I love Dr. Robinson. I thought he was a great president. There may have been a couple hiccups that happened in the past, and so we don't really know what happens behind those closed doors. So I don't really want to speculate. But
yeah, I know the interim AD. One thing he did say in that 220 club interview, his press, was that athletics is going to be one of his main things. They asked him about joining the booster club. He said, "I signed a paper right now," because he graduated from FAMU. Then when he looked at it, he was like, "Why? He said, only question I got is, why is the fee so low to get into the booster club?"
Right, exactly.
It needs to be raised a little bit. I think it's only $100 or something like that just to get in to the booster. So he's like, it needs to be raised a little bit. But athletics is one thing that he's trying to aim for. Where I can't knock Robinson, because academics was his thing.
Exactly.
Athletics wasn't his thing. But academics, he did everything with academics.
Oh man, he had FAMU. I mean, we ranked the #1 public HBCU this year. I think we were number 2 for the longest. So that's why I say, like, you got to you do have to look at the school as a whole and realize what is, important. Athletics is important, but academics is also very important, and that's what gets us, like, keeps us compliant and things of that nature. So Dr. Robinson, and I think he's still planning to stick around FAMU as a member of the
Yeah,
faculty. It's gonna be good. Dr. Robinson comes from the Humphrey days, so he knows what great looks like, and hopefully, he'll be able to. Although he's not the president anymore, hopefully him and the new interim can work together, and he can tell them some lessons learned and things like that. So,
as far as with the AD with fundraising, are there anything that you would change as far as add in, like as far as fundraising ideas?
what would I change? I don't necessarily know her. Well, the former AD. I'm not familiar too much with her fundraising strategy, but um, I know that there are a lot of FAMU very successful and wealthy alum that love FAMU's football team and that would put money behind it. I think you do have to you have to do what you can to make sure that they're aware of how they can donate money, where to go and do that. I don't think FAMU's um, donation process has always been very clear and intuitive, frankly. Like, for people that may not be able to come to Tallahassee or may not be able to tune into the 220 Club every Wednesday, but I would make sure that I marketed ways for people to donate uh, more. I'll provide more visibility towards that. I mean, because think about it, when we were trying to keep Willie Simmons, we raised what, like $50,000 or $100,000,
100,000, yeah.
48 hours. So, and then the other thing I think is you have to provide some visibility as to where the money is going. So you want to list out exactly what this money is going to, and then people will be like, okay, like, we're going to renovate the bathrooms, we're going to renovate the field house. We got to replace the turf. It's been 10 years since we had turf, that kind of thing. You got to, I think, show people exactly what their money's going towards, or a list of things that you plan to do, and then you do it. I would also uh, for the people that want to be boosters, I would make sure that they are taken care of too. They spend a lot of money to be elevated supporters of the football program and other athletics programs. So we have to show them that, hey, you take care of us, we're gonna take care of you, type of thing. And I think FAMU's been doing a good job of that, but just continuing to do that. Um, but yeah, it's ways to get creative with the fundraising. Um, Shoot, hit up a couple of athletes, man. See if they want to put some money towards this. They make investments every day. They might want to support a HBC. They just need somebody to call them and let them know what it is and present them with the opportunity. You never know. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff you could do.
Yeah, man. And closing out, Tony, man, you up there in Atlanta. Talk
So,
about boosters. As I know Atlanta is probably the top boosters in all of Rattler Nation, man. How was Be Out Day up there?
oh man, I'm still recovering, dog. I'm still recovering, man. Be Out There was beautiful, bro. It was just good to see a lot of people, a lot of my old classmates, a lot of people that I know. And I even have some friends that I've made who went to PWIs here in Atlanta. I invited them to come out there. They came out there and had a great time. So Be Out Day. It was my first year setting up a tent. So I'm on UNC status now. So I set up cool out there, man. I ain't had no help. I ain't had no help bringing my cooler and stuff out there. It was a good time, bro. I tell people, it kind of reminds you, it gives you the same vibe as like homecoming, to be honest with you. For those 5 or 6 hours, but they throw parties throughout the whole weekend. They have brunches all the way through Sunday. They really started off on Thursday, and then Be Out Day itself is on Saturday. But it was just good seeing all the people congregating. Just one of my I forget who I was talking to out there, but we just said, like, it's beautiful and it's rare to see, like, and it's unfortunate to have to say this, but to see so many black people in one space, and it ain't no drama, ain't nobody hating on nobody, ain't nobody mad at one another, ain't no beef. It's all love. Like, it's truly all love. You can just see that as you look across Be Out Day. It was very hot out there. I will say that it was very hot. I was sweating. It wasn't too much of a breeze, but it was a good time, and it's always good to hear that Florida music. You know, we got our own style of music.
Yeah.
Don't really get to hear that too often outside of Florida, and definitely not outside of Tallahassee. So it just feels like you back in school, and everybody vibing, bro. It was crazy, and it just so happened to be the 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 final game of the Olympics basketball. So um, the USA was playing France.
Yeah.
While we were out there, and they had it on the TV, and
Oh man, y'all was hanging, dog.
man, it was just beautiful, bro. It was a great day, man. I can't wait for be out there next year. Next year is the tenth year. So everybody make sure you pull up. This is gonna be crazy. Um, Not just from a partying standpoint, but we also uh, donate a lot to the students that are from the Atlanta metro area that are planning to go to FAMU. So it's really one big fundraising party, if you will. So that's what it's really about, is making sure that the next generation of Rattlers are taken care of, and that they get the same experiences that we did, and hopefully they do it for the next generation after them. So uh, Be Out Day can't miss, man. We got to bring Be Out Day back to Tallahassee though,
Man,
where
we got to, man.
where it really started and originated from. I've seen Be Out Day has taken over all the cities in Florida. We've branched out to LA and DC and Atlanta. Obviously, we go crazy up here, but it's nothing like Tallahassee Be Out Day. That's the OG, and so we gotta the city.
Man,
We gotta get like B. We gotta get you. Come on, bro. We gotta get that.
dog, like I was thinking, like, back in the day, Be Out Day was where Al Lawson is, if I can remember right. It was right there. It's like a lot right there or something like that. If my mind doesn't trick
Yeah,
me.
it used to be like out there by the like on the near the practice field where the practice.
Yeah,
It
right
used
there. Yeah.
uh,
It was like two fields right there. And I know one was like where to be out there, and you had the practice field further down, man,
right,
because
right.
churches come through, have fish fry, everybody out there,
And
man.
it's just a good day for the. It's just a good day for the like for the community, because Tallahassee. I mean, FAMU was in a community, and so I think it's a good way for us, for the community and FAMU to come together outside of just homecoming and home games. Like you said, churches. My church I grew up going to is literally right around the corner from there. So I remember being out there with them a couple years. But yeah, it's a good day to kind of get out the house and support FAMU, get a chance for the students to actually see how Tallahassee gets down outside of homecoming and everything. So yeah, we got to get that back going though.
Yeah, man. And you talked about Florida music, dog. T-Pain coming to Tallahassee. You
Uh,
told me you going to it, man.
I got to pull up, man. Tallahassee and T Pain, man, have a very interesting relationship. Like, I feel like we all grew up listening to T Pain. I can remember. I think I was in like maybe fifth or sixth grade. I heard the first T Pain mixtape, and it was good hearing somebody represent for Tallahassee like that, because we didn't really hear nobody really putting on for Tally. We listening to music from Atlanta and other cities, but like T Pain really came out and was like putting Tallahassee on the map. But and I'm guilty of this too. Like, not feeling like T Pain did enough for the city, and not feeling like T Pain could come back to Tallahassee at all. And he's done interviews about why he doesn't necessarily come back as much, and kind of how he fell out with the Nappy Boys. But um, I will be there for that concert. No cap. That's gonna be crazy. Um, that's gonna be a monumental day in Tallahassee history, and the commissioner, whoever he is who was hating last year, tell him to take PTO that weekend, because we don't care what you have to say, sir. This is gonna go down. I just hope he does the old T Pain. Plays the old T Pain. That'll be a vibe. So yeah, I will be out there.
Shoot, I think he up for election this year anyway, so I think my screen then froze, but
Yeah, it froze a little bit.
yeah, it's all good. He up for election this year, so
Oh, so he
we
don't
need
really
to yeah, we
feathers.
need to
Okay.
vote him out anyway, man. So go out there and vote, dog. Get his mind up out of here. But Tony, man, I'm gonna go ahead and end this dog. But I want to tell you, Tony, can you still hear me?
I can hear you, bro. I can hear you.
All right, I think it's reloading back up. But I just want to tell you, bro, I appreciate you, dog, because you told me something when you was in 10th grade and I was going to 11th, like them tour days. You was like, bro, you was like, B, you used to have that dog. Where that dog at, bro? You used to have that dog in you, dog. Where that dog at, man? You didn't you
Gotta
done
have.
got you done got soft now, bro. It's all
Hey,
always
what that did, that sparked the fire in you, ain't it?
yeah, man. I always think about that, man.
Yeah, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I don't really remember that, but hey, I know a lot of stuff a lot of stuff was said in that locker room, dog. I still cherish those moments, man. Those are some of the best memories I have, dog. I'm so glad that I, went to Lincoln, bro, and met y'all boys because um, we really built the brotherhood. We went through a lot together.
Yeah, man.
We was really in them trenches, and you at Lincoln, you gotta have that dog in you, bro. You got to have that dog in you. Or you're not gonna last. You don't want to play a different sport if you transfer, but at Lincoln it's a little different out there.
Yeah,
I
man. But
appreciate you for having me, man. I love this kind of stuff. I'm happy to chop it up about other topics, but football, I can sit and talk about this all day. I don't really want to get into what's going to happen to those Gators this year. I feel bad for them. I want y'all to beat Miami just because I don't really like either one of you guys, but I do want to see y'all beat UM. And yeah, man, I wish y'all the best of luck, bro. But it's just get behind FAMU football, bro. This year you'll be all right,
hey, listen, man. Why you think I start really getting behind FAMU and potting about them? I
dog. I
got
know.
tired of hearing, bro. I got tired of hearing. No disrespect, man. I got tired of hearing a white man sit and lie to me every week in
Exactly.
these pressers. I'd rather hear a brother that
Keep it
I
real.
could somewhat trust him and get
Exactly.
where he coming from.
Keep it real.
The yeah, man. But I was tired of Napier and then Mullen. I was tired of them lying to me every week, dog.
Yeah,
So
bro. They gonna give you that coach speak every time, dog.
every time, man.
Every time.
Every time, dog. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all. Anybody else, man? This podcast is we just getting alumni. If you know football, want to come talk, we gonna get you on, man. But alumni, this is stricken, dog, because we got struck once with the venom, dog. So I
So,
appreciate y'all for listening, man. I appreciate y'all, man. You have a good weekend. Next week we're gonna talk about Norfolk State. If you know anybody that knows football about Norfolk State, how the team going, hit me up, have them on. Been trying to find them. I can't find them. Hey, I didn't hit up HBCU Go. They don't know nobody. So I don't know if they scared of players or what, dog. But
they ain't
yeah,
really got no real fans like that. So
probably not. Probably not. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate you again, Tony.
yes, sir.
Hey, yeah.
All right, everybody. Y'all have a good night.